We've been planning our own trips for over a decade, so when we decided to try a river cruise for the first time, we weren't sure if it would feel too restrictive. After 15 days sailing from Budapest to Amsterdam on the Emerald Sun, here's our honest answer and our recommendations to fellow DIY travelers trying a European river cruise. It's our first morning on the cruise. What do you think?
Loving it.
The first thing to know is that no activity on our cruise was mandatory. Included excursions have unlimited capacity, which means you can decide at the last minute whether to join or just as easily skip them entirely to head out on your own. Sometimes, because the ship docked earlier than expected, as long as the crew had set up the gangway, we could just walk off and go. We just arrived in Dernstein and we're going for a walk. Early mornings in these towns before any crowds arrived were some of our favorite moments of the whole sailing. That said, there are moments where going fully independent gets complicated and it's worth knowing about them in advance. The trickiest days were the ones where the ship redocked at a second port while we were on tour. On our Brombach Abbey to Miltenberg day, for example, we didn't know exactly where the ship would be when we finished. Your options on days like that are to either stay with the coaches, which always knows where the ship is, or stay on the ship entirely. The ship's guided tours are tightly coordinated with docking schedules, and I would not try to arrange something fully on your own, especially when the docking locations are so often TBD. We weren't sure going in whether we'd enjoy the included guided tours. We ended up joining them at almost every port. Most of them covered buildings and monuments from the outside rather than going in, but they also usually built in free time at the end. So even on the shortest stops, there was often time to slip inside a church or grab a coffee. In most cases, we still had several hours to explore on our own. So within the structured excursions and afterward, there was time to do your own thing. We had some fantastic guides, and you can usually tell from a distance which ones are going to be the most enthusiastic and engaging, and that could make a big difference. Another thing we worried about was missing out on local food while eating 3 meals a day on the ship, but the kitchen was continuously picking up local ingredients at ports. The chef incorporated regional specialties throughout the meals, and the daily included wine selection was often locally produced. We tried to save a little appetite to stop in town for a fresh pretzel, gingerbread cookies, a slice of cake, or in Rudesheim, a flaming coffee made right in front of us. That stuff doesn't make it onto the ship menu, and it's worth paying a little out of pocket to sample them. So let's be straightforward about the trade-offs. The pros that stood out for us: unpacking for 15 days and 13 destinations, and not having to plan daily logistics for food, transportation, and accommodations. That's a real luxury. Waking up somewhere new every morning, watching that landscape change from the lounge with a coffee, that never got old. Meeting new people and spending time with our own little group without being stuck doing everything together made for a really nice balance. The food and the service, everything was delicious and the staff were excellent. The cons, or at least the honest trade-offs: a river cruise is a splurge compared to a DIY trip. You're paying more for convenience and service. The pace is faster than we prefer. We arrived somewhere new every single day for 2 weeks. Now, I loved seeing so much, but I also would have welcomed an extra day to just rest and read a book without feeling like I was missing spectacular scenery out the window. Dinners are social and loud. Sitting down in that busy dining room with 170 passengers isn't always what an introvert wants at the end of a full day of exploring. That said, 3-course meals with included wine, still worth it. I think river cruises are generally great for first-time or newer travelers. Everything is handled for you, the logistics are seamless, and you never have to figure out where you're sleeping next. But having DIY travel skills opens up even more possibilities. When the ship docked early and the gangway went down, we were ready to go on our own before the crowds, with a sense of where we were and what we wanted to see. When the guided tour ended with 2 hours of free time, we knew how to use it. So the ship gives you a base. What you do with the hours in between is up to you, and that's where experience with independent travel really pays off. If you're considering a river cruise and want to go in prepared, we have a few resources that might help. Our Emerald Budapest to Amsterdam FAQ video and blog post addresses the questions that we couldn't find good answers to before we left: how excursions work, typical port times, and things that surprised us. We also put together a free port-by-port guide with our docking locations and tour highlights mapped, honest ratings, and Wi-Fi speeds at every stop along the route. Those will be linked below. And if you want to feel confident using free time in any destination, not just on a cruise, our Intentional Travelers Toolkit membership is where we give you the tools and skills that make independent exploration feel more manageable wherever you go. Our river cruise connectivity video is coming up next with our best advice for staying connected across multiple countries on a moving ship and how to set up your phone before you go. So I hope you take advantage of those resources and happy travels.